We are finally back with another video, and guys, we have another car to modify.
So I just bought this 2022 Audi RSQ3 Sportback.
And yes, the RS3 hasn't gone anywhere, it's still here. For those of you who are new here, I have been building my dream RS3 for a little while now. Now the RS3 is currently on APR Stage 2 E85 tune. We have a custom downpipe and midsection. We've got a massive 5-inch JDY air intake, an even Turi elbow, a huge JDY intercooler, and some other cosmetic mods as well. And I know you're wondering, why do we buy the RSQ3 when we already have an RS3? And the two cars literally share the same 5-cylinder motor. We won't explain that right now, we'll explain that later in this video. But for now, let's take a better look at the RSQ3. Right now, before we get into why we bought the car, I'm just going to give you guys a quick walk around and show you exactly what we got and everything that's come with the RSQ3 that we've bought.
So first of all, I'm pretty sure the color's called Daytona Grey, and in this lighting, if you look at it, it's kind of got this bit of a blue and a grey tinge in it. And I'm not sure if that's just because the way the sun's setting and the clouds hitting the car at the moment, or if that's just how the color is, but it looks completely different to what I remember it looking like in the sun. But honestly, this is probably one of my favorite colors that they do on the RSQ3, so I'm glad we got this color. And now this is probably my favorite angle of the car, this back rear quarter panel. And I know a lot of people say it, but when I see this car in person, from this angle, it really does give that mini URUS vibes. And now that's definitely the best angle of the car, and honestly, I don't think the rear end needs a whole lot of work. I don't think I'm gonna add any aftermarket kits or anything, but I definitely want to do something on the front and on the sides. But our model here, I'm not sure if they all come with the sunroof, but ours comes with the sunroof, and I love how it kind of kicks back like that. Kind of adds another layer, like I was saying, to this rear quarter angle. Now this one's got the red brake calipers that has this two-tone wheel, which I wasn't originally a fan of, but it's kind of grown on me.
And I was originally thinking we might black out the chrome bits on that wheel, but I actually think I kind of like it and might leave it how it is.
I believe they call this the RS styling package, so it's got the red shoulder pads on the seats and it's got the red stitching as well.
Now when it comes to the red RS styling package, I honestly don't mind the red stitching on the seats, but I kind of hate the red shoulder pads. So at some point, if it's possible, I think we might take the red shoulder pads out and swap them out with black ones if I can find somewhere that can take only that section out and sew in a new black piece. But other than that, I don't think there's too much more to show you guys. I think that's every option that's on this car. Honestly, the car in its stock form, as you can tell, it looks great. But the biggest eyesore straight off the bat is this wheel fitment. But this seems to be a thing on all the new cars coming out. The wheels kind of sit pretty far in from the guard. And like I was saying, these stock wheels honestly aren't bad. So if we can get some spaces on here, which we will be doing in this video, I honestly think it's going to make this car look even better. Now we aren't going to waste any time. We've already got a set of eye-back lowering springs and a mode flush fitment spacer kit, just like we did on the RS3. And I was hoping to do the springs in this video, but I don't think we're going to have time anymore, but we will definitely chuck the spacers on, and we'll probably go and do that right now so we can fix that, and then we can get some more shots and see if it really does make a difference. But honestly, overall, I think I'm pretty happy with this purchase, and other than those red shoulder pads on the seat, I think we got a pretty good spec.
Okay, so I've got you guys set up on the action cam again, so I hope the angle's all right. And I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering why I bought an RSQ3 when I already have an RS3. And I'm not sure if you guys already picked up on it, but in the background, I already owned an Audi Q3, which I ran as my daily. So my RS3 is actually more of my weekend car, or more for when I'm making videos or doing mods to it and all that stuff. But on the day-to-day basis, I just drive my white Audi Q3. Anyway, I managed to pick up this RSQ3. It's a 2022 model, and I picked it up for 57,000 Australian dollars plus on roads, which is only $5,000 more than what I paid for my white Q3, which was a 2020 model. And I didn't necessarily need to upgrade to an RS model for the daily, but for an extra $5,000 more than what I paid for the white car, for the older standard Q3, I wasn't going to say no to that. And as an added bonus, it means that I can do up a second car for you guys on the channel. And I know it's essentially just the RS3 but in SUV form. It's got the exact same motor and they sound the same. But I guess another reason why I thought it'd be a good idea is because by having this, it frees me up to still make videos with this car while we do something even more crazy on the RS3, like going big turbo and built motor on that. And it'll probably take a couple months when we decide to do that. And so by having this, it frees us up to be able to build the RS3 and still make videos with this car, which is essentially the same car. We'll still have the same fun with it, whilst also building the RS3 in the background. And like I said, doing something crazy with that. Or as another alternative option, we could swap out the RS3 for something like an M3 Comp or an RS7 and have a completely different car that we can modify and still enjoy the sound of the 5-cylinder in this car. So I'm not exactly sure yet which option I'm going to take, but either of those two options sounds pretty good. Most likely going to keep the RS3 and go big power, but like I said, the car will be down for 2 or 3 months while we get that done. Now for the RSQ3, what we're sitting in right now, I'm not sure if you can hear it from the GoPro, but this is essentially what the RS3 sounded like stock. On these new models with the cat in the downpipe and then the secondary cats, or the OPF as they call it, and then all your resonator and muffler on the back, these cars are way too quiet. And now I've already owned this car for a week, so you're not going to get my raw reaction to it because I've already experienced it. But I thought I'd bring you guys with me on the drive home so that you guys can see what we're dealing with the car stock. And that way in the future we can compare it to how it sounds and how it performs once we've done the stage 2 tune, downpipes and catback exhaust. Had a little bit of a flutter there, you guys probably didn't hear it, but there's a little bit of a flutter from the intake there. That's one of the biggest difference straight away. On our RS3, we obviously have the big 5-inch JDY intake, which makes such a difference, honestly. So I'm gonna put these windows up. One of my favorite things about the RSQ3 that I prefer over the RS3 is that there's something about being in a car that's a lot higher off the ground, but still has the same power. And I know it's a little bit slower than the RS3 was stock to stock, but it's still got quite a bit of go for an SUV. And like I was saying, one of my favorite things about this car is that you have access to all that power. Sorry, the wind's bothering me. But yeah, you have access to all that power, but you don't have to slow down for entryways or dips in the road or watch out for speed bumps and all that stuff. You can kind of just glide over things that I would normally have to slow down for in the RS3. And like I was saying, I've honestly had a whole lot of fun with that. Experience driving this car and not having to slow down for bumps or dips in the road. You still got that same power, it's fast, and you're kind of off the ground a little bit. I don't know what I enjoy more, but but the performance SUV is starting to grow on me. And I know there's mixed opinions about it, but like I was saying at the start of the video, the car kind of gives off mini Lamborghini URUS vibes, and I don't know if I'm saying that properly, but yeah, just like the way it looks, especially on that rear quarter which I showed you guys, it definitely looks like an URUS, not exactly. And performance wise, these 5-cylinder motors, obviously it's not going to sound like a V8, but you still get such a nice tone out of these. And I've seen some clips with these RSQ3s with downpipes and with the frequency intelligence exhaust, which is one of the more expensive catbacks in the market for these cars. But the car honestly does sound like a mini Lamborghini URUS. It sounds insane. But stock, just like the RS3, still sounds good, but we really need to hear the sound of that 5-cylinder motor. We are pulling back in home and we are running out of daylight, so we're going to, as quick as we can, swap the RS3 out of the garage, reverse this one in, and then we are going to be installing the Mode flush fitment spacer kit. Now this is the exact same kit that we got on the RS3 when we fixed up the fitment. So we've got our Mode flush fitment spacer kit, which comes with 15mm spacers for the rears and 12.5mm for the front, also with our extended lugs. And here is the IBAC lowering springs. And as you can see, the RS3 is rocking the exact same setup, but the versions for the RS3 of course. And as you can see, I don't know if you guys remember what it looked like from factory, but it has completely improved and corrected the fitment. We got no space here and it sits pretty flush with the fenders along this side. And if you go to the rears, once again, that fitment looks a whole lot better. And like I said, we're not going to be installing the lowering springs in today's video, but we are going to try and quickly whack on the flush fitment spacer kit on the RSQ3. So before we do that, we've got to take the RS3 out and bring the RSQ3 in. So I think we all know what that means. Let's do a cold start on the RS3.
it's crazy to me that that's what our RSQ3 is going to sound like once we've done the downpipes on it as well. And eventually when we do the catback exhaust, I think we're going to do a different catback on the RS3 than what we will do on the RSQ3. That way we can kind of compare and see what the different aftermarket options out there sound like and which one sounds better. Alright, so I've got the RSQ3 in the garage and I've already opened up the boxes here. We've got our I-back lowering springs, which we will be installing in the next video, and then this is what we are installing today. This is our flush fitment spacer kit from Mode. In the packet, these here I believe are the 15 mils. So these ones are going on the rear. We've got the 15 mil spacers and the extended lugs. And then underneath we've got the 12 mil spacers that we'll be putting on the front, also with the extended lugs. And now before we get to installing them, I'll quickly run around the car and show you guys what the fitment looks like now in its stock form. Then we'll show you again with the spacers, and then once again in the next video, once we do the lowering springs as well. So yeah, if you drop down on this angle here, you can see what the fitment looks like from factory. As you can see, all the wheels kind of sit in from the fender from factory. And that's the thing on all new cars, not just these models. Then obviously, we're sitting a little bit high as well when it comes to the springs. And this is what it looks like here from the front. And then if you look back at the wheel back here, that's what the rear wheel looks like before the spacers. And then one of the other angles that I want to show you before and after is this rear angle. And I'm assuming once we've got the spacer kit on, we're going to see more of that wheel on the left hand side of the bumper here, just like on the RS3. And our spacer kit is pretty self-explanatory, so we're not going to give an install guide on how to do this. And so yeah, let's get these spacers on and swap out the lug bolts. By the way, how does everyone else take these safety caps off that you have to remove before removing the lugs? Because I've just been using this here, kind of wedging it in between there and pulling them off like that. But every time I feel like I'm almost scratching the wheel if this ever comes loose and I slip. But if there's a better way to do this or a tool that everyone uses, then definitely link it below because that'll help out a lot. And that is the rear wheel finished. Obviously we still got to lower it, but the spacers are now on. And already, straight away, you can already see it. Look how much wider the wheel sits in the back. And as you can tell, it now sits flush with the fender up here. Whereas before that was sitting pretty far in. And you definitely couldn't see this much rubber from behind, sticking out from the rear bumper. Honestly, that looks great. And I'm starting to get an idea now of what it's gonna look like once we lower it as well. It'll probably come down another 20 or 25 mil. Maybe even 30, I can't actually remember. I'll double check that before we install them so you guys know exactly how many mil we are dropping the car. But even with just the spacers on for now, that looks great. And here it is from this angle. That is sitting a lot more flush with the fender. Now I'll quickly go ahead and do the front one and then do the other two on the other side before we show you guys a bit closer up how it's all looking and sitting with the spacers installed. And we have just finished installing the flush fitment spacer kit on all 4 tyres. So let's take a look. First of all, straight away, if you look at it from this angle here, we get down. Like I said, we obviously still got to lower it, but the wheels are definitely sitting a lot more flush with the fender. It's definitely super noticeable, which is great. Have a look at this. Rear wheel looks a heap better, and that's 15 mil spacer in the rear. And then when you come to the front, we've only done 12.5s, and that's what comes in the kit. I feel like we could probably still get away with another 5 or 10 mil in the front, to be honest with you. But I'm not complaining, it still looks a heap better than it did factory. Actually, when you're at this angle here, it doesn't look too bad, but once again, I still feel like you probably could have got away with the extra 2.5 mil. Sorry, not 5 to 10, but the extra 2.5, because these are 12.5s, rears are 15, but I reckon we could have done 15s on the front. This fitment is already starting to look a heap better than it did from factory, and I can't wait to see what it looks like with the lowering springs. And guys, I don't know if you can tell on video, but this rear quarter angle, which is my favorite angle of the car, I've already said it, these wheels are definitely sitting so much better. Okay, so it's honestly a little bit hard to film in here. It's a little bit tight at the moment with everything that's in the shed. So I'm gonna quickly reverse the car out and get some better B-roll for you guys. that is all we have time for in today's video. We've only just purchased this 2022 RSQ3 and we've already done the spacers, and in the next video, keep an eye out for that because we are going to be doing the eye-back lowering springs, which will really complete the fitment and make this car look just that little bit better than it does from factory. And as I mentioned in this video already, we do plan on doing a few more mods to this car. We still want to do a stage 2, and we want to wake the car up a little bit with downpipes and an exhaust and do a couple little goodies on top of that, maybe do a lift kit as well. But overall, we're not going to do a crazy amount to this car. But also, I mentioned a couple videos ago, we still are eyeing down a crash damaged Golf. We want to get our hands on. We do want to do a Golf build on the channel as well. I still haven't found the right crash damaged Golf come up for sale yet. Specifically looking for a 7.5 model that isn't too high in Ks. And I kind of want one that doesn't just have a small amount of damage. I want one that's got quite an excessive amount of damage. That way it can be a bit of fun rebuilding it on the channel, set ourselves a bit of a challenge. And honestly, it'll make it all the more rewarding in the end if we're able to repair it. So like I said, we're still keeping an eye out for that. Hopefully something comes up in the near future and we can start a rebuild series as well. But anyway, this is where I'm going to leave the video for today. Eye-back lowering springs in the next video. Got a brand new car on the channel, and I've said it before, the performance SUV is definitely growing on me, and I definitely can't afford a Lamborghini Urus, but this car definitely gives off a baby Urus vibe. Obviously not as cool, but at a price point that's like 1/6 the amount of money, I think this is definitely a great option in the meantime. And now also, I have created a new Instagram account where I'll be posting all my car content and be posting a lot more consistently there too. So if you guys want to see updates before they hit the channel, then definitely follow us along there. I'll put the links in the description and in my bio. And now that does bring us to the end of today's video. So thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, then do that right now. But I'll see you guys in the next video.